Alright, what's good my people, it's your boy Daniel FX here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing another weekly forecast, a weekly breakdown of the coming week on the indices, on the dollar, on the major pairs. Where is price headed? What do I believe is going to be happening? It's going to be an interesting week because we're headed into May. It's going to be NFP week. First week of start of the new month is always NFP week. So there's typically a lot of fundamental news, which isn't great for me, but it is great in terms of price action because we've been consolidating for a long while now. And this is exactly the kind of volume that we need to really break us out of the ranges that we're in. So although we may not get a lot of trading opportunities this week, well, for me personally, there's definitely going to be some very nice movements that take place throughout the week we may be able to capitalize off of. Now, without further ado, let's hop into the video. Let's actually go through the analysis and let's see what's happening this week. But make sure that just before we do that, please subscribe, please like the video, please engage, because it really does help me out and it's going to make me like create more content for you guys. So let's hop in. All right, cool. So we're starting here on the daily time frame, always looking at the dollar, always looking to see where the dollar is headed. Are we strengthening? Are we weakening? Well, we can see that right here for pretty much the past 2 weeks, maybe even a little bit longer than that, but for the past 2.5 weeks, we've essentially been consolidating. Price has been failing to create new structural highs, while also simultaneously being failing to create new structural lows. I would say that the sentiment here is a little bit more bearish than it is bullish, simply due to the fact that we're leaving extended large and wick rejections to the upside, while price is kind of gradually staggering back down lower. Now, I wouldn't say that this is a strong sentiment because this is like one big like ranging move. So there's no strong sentiment in this sort of movement. And even down here, price is also failing to break structural lows that we have been failing to break for a very long while now. So I would say that the dollar's price action is very, very uncertain, but fundamentally, economically, we should be headed lower. I've been saying this for weeks, but we should have a weakening dollar. The fact that we are holding, the fact that we are failing to break lower means that the sentiment is shifting slightly. And this next week of fundamentals, this NFP week that we're headed into, should be very interesting in terms of the dollar is going to have to make a breakout. Whether that's a breakout to the upside or a breakout to the downside, that's not for me to sit here and try and predict. I'm simply going to react to price action. But if I were to place a bet on it, if I were to try and trade in a direction, it would most likely be to the downside. But obviously, I'm not a fundamental trader. I'm not going to sit here and try and predict the news and how it's going to affect the markets. We're just going to have to wait and see how it comes out. But if everything goes the way that it should do, in my opinion, we should be headed lower. Now, coming here to US 30. US 30, the past Thursday, Friday, like the past 2 days of the week, we finally had some decent momentum that broke us out. You can see that right here, we've been in this nasty ranging period for a very, very long period of time now. Essentially, since we came up here almost last month in like early April, we began to consolidate and hold. The price had been very much accumulative and we haven't really left this general sort of region. But we did have a decent volume week in terms of we had the retracement Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We took out sell side liquidity resting just below these lows right here. Price tapped in and got gone once again. And low key, we broke this little daily structural high right here. It depends what you consider the previous structural high. It's either this or this, but in either case, it looks like we've now headed up to kind of take out that structural high and continue higher. So coming up into Monday, my personal anticipation for price action is I want to see Monday open up very strong bullish, and I want to see us swipe this immediate buy side liquidity right here. So I'm anticipating an impulsive Monday movement. Either that, or if we open up with low volume, if we open up in a consolidation, most likely the most reasonable place for us to pull back to would be somewhere around here, the fill of this FVG, this imbalance, and also a retest of this previous structure here to the left and this relative structure just beneath. But all in all, definitely anticipating a continuation higher. Granted, the news may change that, fundamentals may change that this coming week, but if everything goes the way that it should do, definitely a continuation higher. But I'm very happy about this next week of price action, just simply because we're now starting to finally break out of this nasty little range that we've been in, and we could look to see some more high volume candles or some larger movements on the chart. Same thing with NASDAQ. NASDAQ has been absolutely terrible for like over a month now. You can see almost 40 days of just nasty price action. And once again, towards the end of last week, we really started to get some decent volume that's actually starting to break us out of these structural highs. You can see right here, we're coming up to take out this buy side liquidity and hopefully continue higher. My same analysis applies for NASDAQ. I want to see price open up with a decent, strong impulsive and actually take out the buy side liquidity. If we open up as a consolidated movement, the next possible place for us to retrace to, in my opinion, will either be back up here at these structural highs. So if I were to get a zone and just drag it across here, it'd be this sort of general region. If not, if we get a deeper retracement, either back at these lows, or maybe because Nasdaq's been a bit weird recently, maybe we may come down and fill out this FUG. I think that's pretty unlikely, just purely based off of US 30's price section and the dollar. But at the same time, Nasdaq has been a little bit weird recently, so who really knows. Now coming down here to German 30, once again, my exact same analysis applies to German 30. I'm not going to repeat it for a third time, but it's that same sort of thing that we've been doing in terms of a very long extending consolidation. We are now starting to get the volume that's really breaking us out. And it's a further confluence that all of the indices are breaking out simultaneously. All of them are targeting that same buy side liquidity at the same time. And it's a good kind of confluence for us to be buying coming up into next week. Now that is pretty much it, but we're going to briefly check GU and see what is happening right here. Once again, GU, same analysis applies, and this is a very, very good sign, because even here on GU, for like the past month or so, we've actually been holding, we've been ranging. I know a lot of GU traders personally who just haven't been trading for like over a month because we haven't been trending. But once again, coming up into Thursday, Friday of last week, we actually got some decent volume. Price came up, we broke the structural highs, we swiped the liquidity, and we're now back in that nice clean trending period. So hopefully, granted that the fundamentals don't rip us next week, granted that there isn't some crazy news that just melts the market, we should be getting a nice continuation through, and I'm very happy about this. So I'm going to see you guys on Monday on the Learn and Earn, which will be tomorrow. Let's make some money, let's not get caught lacking by news, don't trade NFP, and I'll see you guys this week.